Okay, so this is long overdue. I said that I would do this a couple weeks ago. However, I've been extremely engulfed in my program, in the nursing program, and I haven't been able to get to it. However, I'm coming to you right now. So this is a video on 10 tips when you are looking to start nursing school. Number one, most important, when you are planning to go to nursing school and you're looking for some program, do your homework. Plan on applying to more than one college, and also make sure that be sure of their mission statement. Look at their graduation rates, look at how much it costs to go to that school, and look at when that program begins. So, because there is a lot of work that goes into the entire application process, so you want to be sure that you have all of those information. So my strong advice: apply to more than one college. Look at all of the qualifications for getting into that nursing program and start as soon as possible. All right, so step two. Now that you have looked at some of the different colleges, you looked into their tuition costs, you looked into the mission statement, you look at their overall graduation rate for the program, and you looked and researched all the information about their NCLEX pass rate and all of that good little stuff that you'll need to know. Then you want to go ahead and apply. You want to apply to the actual institution itself, because in most cases there's this two-step application process where you have to apply to the actual college or university itself. This doesn't apply to all, but in my situation this was the case, so I had to apply to the actual institution, the college itself, and then I had to apply to the actual specialized program that I was interested in, which was the College of Nursing. So then make sure, you want to always make sure, once you complete that application process, you want to look at your send your transcripts. You want to send all of your documentation that you need to get into that program. So once you've actually submitted that, also it's very important that you look at your transfer equivalencies. Make sure that your classes not only transfer, but they are equivalent for the program that you're applying to. So check the equivalency. Most universities and websites have a section on their website that has a transfer equivalency, so you can put your information in there from your previous institutions that you attended and put them in to that university and see what their equivalency is and see that if you actually meet those qualifications. So that's a very important tip, because there are cases where students their credits transfer, however they're not equivalent in order for them to get into the program. So make sure that is something that you do. Tip number 3, follow up on your application. So go ahead and submit that application for the college, and make sure that you receive some type of correspondence from the college, and make sure that you receive that in a timely manner so you can do everything that you need to do as far as the financial part of it. And also, once you apply to the actual specialized college, if you're considering nursing school, then make sure that your application was submitted and received and in the timely manner, because there are deadlines for the application process for specialized applications. So make sure that you meet to step 4. All right, so in addition to your transcripts and submitting your application to the specialized the specialized portion of the institution that you're applying for, let's just say College of Nursing, so make sure that you submit your additional documentations that is required. So with that, what I'm saying when I say that is, make sure you submit your personal statement. Make sure you submit your letters of reference or recommendation. If you have to get information from a previous employer or a previous employer, a previous institution, make sure you get that in a timely manner. You want to start the process early, because sometimes when you have people that you ask or request to write a personal statement or a personal reference, then that information does take some time. So you want to make sure that you get that information, get that information out to everyone as soon as possible, and start working on your personal statement if that is required. Because some people think that, writing a personal statement about why I want to become a nurse could be very easy. I'll just put this, I'll put that, and then boom, I'll seal the deal. But it's more than that. The personal statement is a reflection of you, and it tells them, hey, I want to be a part of this institution, and this is why I am a great candidate for this program. So you want to make sure that you start that early and that you proofread it, critique it, change it. So sometimes you can write and then you can come back to it later, and there's always revisions that you have to make to the documentation. So make sure that you do that. So you want to make sure you have everything in prior to the deadline. I strongly advise, if you have a deadline, let's just say of February 15th, 2021 for the nursing fall program for August of 2021, go ahead and make sure you submit that documentation at least 2 weeks in advance. Or if you can't do 2 weeks, try a week. And whenever you submit your documentation, if it is not electronic, then you want to make sure that you expedite it, and you want to make sure that you get a tracking number and have someone, if someone receives it, make sure they sign for it, so you'll get that notification that it has been received. Very, very important information. Tip 5. So once you actually receive correspondence from the College of Nursing or the nursing program that you applied to, then you can just say whether you got accepted. You'll either hear one or the other. Whether I got rejected, my application was rejected, and then whether accepted. So we're hoping, we're leaning on the side of the latter, accepted. So once you get accepted to the College of Nursing of your choice, then the process is not over, you guys, because once you get accepted, there is an interview process. And that is tip 5. I believe I'm on 5. So 5, prepare for your nursing interview. This is very important. I'm going to give you a little bit background about my experience. I had a pre-recorded interview, so it was online due to the COVID pandemic. There weren't any in-person interviews being conducted, so I had a virtual interview, and it consisted of questions being asked, and then I respond, and then there was a written explanation that I had to complete. So make sure that you prepare for your interview, because you don't want to get online, you don't want to be on the Zoom, you don't want to be on whatever platform that they're using to interview you, and then you're like, I don't know. No, you have to be prepared. They're looking for people that can think on their feet, because that is what nursing is about, thinking on your feet. So make sure that you do that. You're going to be a big ball of nerves. That is expected, but to prepare is the best thing that you can do. All right, tip 6. So why are you waiting to be to receive information from the nursing program, whether you were accepted because of your after your interview process? Now, let me be clear about the accepting part of it. There is a 2-part acceptance part of it. There is an accepted, hey, we recognize, and you have a conditional acceptance when you say, hey, we accepted you into the college of nursing of your choice. However, this is conditional. So you have to interview to seal the deal. So there's typically a two-part. It may not be, like I said, this is only applicable to the program that I applied to. So it may be a little different in your state, at your institution, or whatever college, like I said, whatever college or institution that you apply for. So program that you apply to. So now we are on tip 7. Okay, so make sure that you attend all your mandatory orientations. Make sure you get all of your materials and everything that you need. Make sure if they say, hey, you need to have an interview with your academic advisor before orientation, make sure you do that. If they require for you to have specific materials before orientation, do that. Make sure that you have your scrubs and all of that. Do that. Make sure your financial aid is still and everything. If you're paying out of pocket, if you're receiving financial services, then make sure you do that. All right, so attend all mandatory orientations. Make sure that you, if they ask you to set up an email to receive information and receive and correspond, please make sure you do that. Very, 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 very vital information. Attend your orientations. Do everything that they ask you to do. You want to be diligent. You want to make sure you're doing everything that you should. Okay, so once you are accepted and you are ready to go, tip number, I think we're at 8. Tip number 8. You can somewhat relax a little bit, okay, before the first day of class. But tip number 8, listen, if you're going, whether you're doing distance learning or whether you're going in person, a majority of us are doing distance learning, and partially we have things going on campus, and partially we're doing things at home, synchronous and asynchronous. You want to make sure that you know what days and know your schedule and know everything. If you have to be on campus for certain things, make sure you know where to go. Make sure you have your parking passes. Make sure that you do a tour. That is a good, perfect, amazing thing that you could do. Set up a tour. If you're not comfortable with the campus, they offer those. So make sure you do a tour. If you want to do a virtual tour, if you want to do an in-person tour, make sure you do that. You have to plan accordingly, because you don't want to pop up on the first day of class and you're like, I don't know where to go. Maybe find the building, don't know what to do. No, that's not acceptable, because you're an adult and you're an adult learner and you have to be responsible. So, yes. Tip number 9. So once you're in the thick of it, which when you start, you want the thick of it. Listen, this is serious, okay? Make sure that you plan. Write in your planners. Stay organized. Make sure you know when you're having exams. Make sure you know when you're having lectures. Make sure what instructors you have. Make sure you have their contact information and the best mode of communication for that instructor, because not all instructors like to be text. Not all instructors like for you to email them. They have a preferable mode of communication. So you make sure you know that, and you make sure you know the hours that they would like to be communicated. Don't communicate. Don't be texting nobody around 11, 12 midnight when you up studying and you think somebody else should be up. Some people are sleeping. Do not text 5 o'clock in the morning, because that's crazy. You may have an instructor that says, hey, it's cool, text me or email me anytime. Email me, I might not correspond until this particular time, so expect that. Just make sure that you're respectful of the instructors, and they will be respectful of your time as well, because everybody's busy. Just because you're in the nursing program does not mean you're the only one that is pulling out their hair. Everybody's doing it. All right, so tip 10, relax. Take some time for yourself. I know this program is really stressful. If you need to take 15 minutes of self-care, if you need to go for a walk, if you need to meditate, you make sure you do that. Spend a little time here and there with the honey buns and the kids. Make sure it's all good. Make sure you get that time in, and breathe, darling, because you are in. You in there like swimwear.